الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله تعالى من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة وغشف الغمة وجاهد في الله حق جهاده حتى أتانا اليقين. يا عباد الله أوصيكم بنفسي بتقوى الله. قال سبحانه: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وقال سبحانه: يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به وأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. وبعد. My dear respected brothers, we thank Allah Azza wa Jal, we praise Him, we seek His forgiveness and we seek refuge from Allah Azza wa Jal from our deeds. We testify with no doubt that there is no one to be worshipped except Allah Azza wa Jal. We also testify that Muhammad ﷺ is his servant and his messenger. And there is no way that leads to paradise except his sunnah. And other ways that comes as innovation will lead to Jahannam. May Allah protect us. In this very short khutbah, my dear respected brothers, I wanna advise myself and remind myself and to you regarding the preparation of the Shahr al-Ramadan al-Mubarak. As you well know, we are in maybe, let's say, 1 or 2 days to get to these blessing months. And especially when these times comes, in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, he used to advise the Sahaba and make them aware of the advantage of these months and the blessings that has in these blessing months. So in the same way, in the similar way, we would like in this very short khutbah to also remind some points. I will not say all the points, but some of them that I think might be useful to help us to get advantage of this month of Ramadan. My dear brothers, before getting to that, as an introduction, many of us last year, they were with us, but today they are not with us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took them from this dunya, and they were praying to take part of this month of Ramadan. Last month, we were having brothers, or even a member of your family that was with you, but today he's not with us anymore. Yesterday, there was brothers, Muslim, they were praying, Allah, make us to take part of this month of Ramadan. Allahumma ballighna Ramadan. They were making this dua every time before this month comes. Probably you too, you are doing the same to make the dua so that Allah Azza wa Jal can leave you so that you can be part of this month of Ramadan. Even the Sahaba, 3 months, 4 months before the Ramadan, they were raising hands to ask Allah Azza wa Jal, please make us from those who will take part of this month of Ramadan. So this month of Ramadan is a promotion time for us. As you know, Allah Azza wa Jal, we are a community which is weak. Like sometimes we do not fulfill our obligation with Allah Azza wa Jal. So, but in these months, or in this event in Islam, Allah created this situation to purify us, to make it closer to Him. So we have to take advantage of this one. So do not let this month going unless Allah Azza wa Jal forgive your sins, unless Allah Azza wa Jal give you blessing on you and your family. So this is a very, very unique in the Ummah. The ancient community has the same one, but this is very special to us. So do not neglect the blessing that Allah Azza wa Jal put in this month of Ramadan. Make a program for you. Make something that you think if I do it, it will be helpful to me. But I pledge you, do not let this month going without making something that can make it closer to Allah Azza wa Jal. To increase your taqwa and to be closer to Allah Azza wa Jal in this month of Ramadan. What are the advices that today I would like to share and remind myself? The first one is to have good intention. To have good intention of this month of Ramadan. To fast all the months of Ramadan. And to intend that, am I going to do good in this month? Because once you fulfill that as an intention, and you make the environments and the ecosystems that is around you, that will make you to follow that intention. So first is the intention, to fast the month of Ramadan. Imam Ahmad, rahmatullahi alayhi, used to say to his son, "Oh my son, intend goodness, because for you will continue to be good as long as you intend goodness. If you intend goodness, you will make that happen." So intention is the starting point of this month of Ramadan. The first point. The second one that I would like to remind is Al-Amr Thani, Wujubu Siyamihi. There is no doubt that this is an obligation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put upon us So we have no other way, except we have some exception, of course. But let's say in the standard level, we have to fast this month of Ramadan. This is an obligation to us. Allah said in the Quran, كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. This is the ayah from Allah Azza wa Jal. So we have to fast the month of Ramadan and to look for the success, which is the taqwa, which is the reward that Allah mentioned for this month of Ramadan. So, كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you may have that taqwa with you. So this is the reward that we are looking in this month of Ramadan. So make it as a title in your room. I need to achieve taqwa in this month. Every day in your door you put in taqwa, and you do your best to achieve that one, and to make it as a straightforward, to make action, to make this step, to be closer to Allah Azza wa Jalla. So second point, wujubu siyabi. We have to fast the month of Ramadan because of Allah put it on us. Not as a burden. This is not a burden to us. We need to be pleased. You need to please and to make it something that is we are happy on it, not as a burden. That's the second point. Al-amru salis huwa qiyamu laylihi. وقد قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم من قام رمضان إيمانا واحتسابا غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه. وجاء في حديث آخر من قام ليلة القدر إيمانا واحتسابا غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه. That is the third point, which is to stand in the night of Ramadan. The Prophet ﷺ in his words saying that whoever stands during Ramadan out of faith and in the hope of reward, his previous sins will be forgiven. So the night of Ramadan is not for sleeping. The night of Ramadan is not for working. Of course you can work, but take a time that you can fulfill this Qiyamul Layl. So the night of Ramadan, stand to Allah Azza wa Jal, pray to Allah Azza wa Jal, cry to Allah Azza wa Jal, and ask forgiveness to Allah Azza wa Jal. So do not let the night of Ramadan going and you are not doing and you are not active to do some things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may forgive you for the night of Ramadan. So take advantage of the night of Ramadan. الأمر الرابع في شهر رمضان وهو قراءة القرآن. The first point that I would like to remind my dear respect in this month of Ramadan is the recitation of Al-Quran Al-Karim. Al-Quran Al-Karim has been revealed in this month. So how can we forget that? We cannot forget that. We need to do something. Because Al-Quran, which is the book, which is what is the word of Allah. We believe in the Quran as a Muslim. But it is not just to put it in the shelf and just leave it there. How many Quran do we have in this masjid? Or how many books do you have in your room? So many probably, right? How often do you read it? How often do you check it to see, oh, this is the message of Allah Azza wa Jal. Let me just read one line. Let me just read 5 lines. Let me just read 1 page. How many of us do that? Allahu A'lam. But in these months of Ramadan, which is special, because doing something out of this month is not the same doing that in this month of Ramadan. This is not the same. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take this by himself. So recitation of Al-Quran Al-Karim. To make another proof on that, to take advantage of the recitation of of the Al-Quran Al-Karim, the Prophet ﷺ said, من قرأ حرفا من كتاب الله فله به حسنة والحسنة بعشر أمثالها. لا أقول ألف لام ميم حرف ولكن ألف حرف ولام حرف وميم حرف. This is the word of the Prophet ﷺ, saying that when you recite Al-Quran Al-Karim, the letters We are not saying ayah. He could say ayah. You read one ayah, you have one reward, or 10, or something like that. But be aware of even one letter in this Quran, Allah Azza wa Jal will reward them. He said, Alif, Lam, Mim, Alif, Harfun. Lam, Harfun, wa Mim, Harfun. And not 10, we don't know, because we are in the special months of Ramadan. So take advantage of the recitation of Al-Quran Al-Karim. Al-Amru Sadis. Al-Khamis. وهو كسرة لزوم المساجد. The fifth advice in this month of Ramadan is having some time that you can stay in the masjid. Even at daqa'iq, even some minutes after salah, you can just sit to have some time to make zikr, to make something, al-ibadah, in the masjid. This is good. Because the Prophet ﷺ was advised that to the Sahaba to have some time that they can stay in the masjid to do something. Zikr, anything that you think that is ibadah, to be close to Allah Azza wa Jal. So you pray, you can make zikr, or anything that you think. Recite, Qira'atul Quran is also good. You can stay in the masjid. You stay even one page. Please make a program. Everyone knows his timeline. You can make a program. Every day I can read after Salah 1 page, 2 page, or half a page, as you can. But do not let times going without having in mind that I need to do some things. Because ayyaman ma'adudah, this is what Allah said. You will not feel it that the months will go. So we don't have to neglect this month, this blessing month, Al-Mubarak. Al-Amru Sabi' وهو حفظ لسانه. This is a great point also in the month of Ramadan, my dear respected brothers, to preserve our tongue. This is very important. Let's preserve our tongue. If someone come to you in this month of Ramadan saying something that you don't like it, or something as, let's say, insults you, what will you reply? Are you going to say the same word that he said to you? No. This is not the advice from the Prophet ﷺ. You said, Inni sa'im. This is what you have to say. If someone take a bad word to you or insult you, don't reply as the same word. Say, Inni sa'im, I am fasting. This is the advice from the Prophet ﷺ. Backbiting, doing some things that comes out of your tongue, which might maybe reduce your reward from Allah Azza wa Jalla. So let's take it as a very important point in this month of Ramadan, which is حفظ لسانه. أقول ما تسمعون واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه ملء السماوات وملء الأرض وملء ما بينهما وملء ما شئت من شيء بعد أهل الثناء والمجد. أشهد سبحانه بأنه in this month of Ramadan Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. All what I have said before in the first part of this khutbah, if you make the intention, if you make hifzul lisan, having intention, hifzul lisan, making all your program to achieve the reward, probably Allah Azza wa Jal, with your intention, can forgive you, and you can be more closer to Allah Azza wa Jal, which is what we are looking for. I will add 2 more advices before I end this khutbah. The first one is do not neglect the sahur, which is the meal that we take before we start the Ramadan, because the Prophet said, "Tasahharu, fa inna suhur barakah." So let's take this meal because the Prophet said there is barakah while you are taking that one. So do not take early, like let's say in the new night time. Just wait until Fajr comes, you wake up and you take, because there is barakah. Do not sleep to say, oh, I'm okay. No, no. Stand up, wake up, and took this more. Even one day or water is something also good. The other advice that I will terminate this khutbah is when the times of finishing, of cutting the fast comes, the Prophet said, you use a thumb. You use a thumb. If you don't have a thumb, you take a water. This is what he said. Use a thumb or use the water, because water is tuhur. This is what he said. فَإِنَّ الْمَاءَ طُهُورٌ طَهُورٌ. This is what he said. اللهم إنا نستعينك ونستهديك ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك ونؤمن بك ونتوكل عليك ونثني عليك الخير كل نشكرك ولا نكفرك ونخلع ونترك من يفجرك. اللهم إياك نعبد ولك نصلي ونسجد وإليك نسعى ونخفت نرجو رحمتك ونخشى عذابك إن عذابك الجد بالكفار ملحق. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا واصرف عنا شر ما قضيت فإنك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك إنه لا يذل من واليت ولا يعز من عاديت. لك الحمد على ما أعطيت ولك الشكر على ما أعطيت. اللهم اقسم لنا من خشيتك ما تحول به بيننا وبين معصيتك. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة ربنا إنك أنت الوهاب. اللهم إنا نسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى. اللهم إنا نسألك العلم النافع ورزقا طيبا وعملا متقبلا يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. قوموا إلى الصلاة. Try to make space. Our brothers are waiting in the door. You can just make it a bit.